Hello, my beautiful soul family, and welcome back to the February Earth and Animal Spirit Tarot reading for the Collective Dream. I'm really excited to get into this with you guys, so let's get to shuffling. If this is the first time you are here, welcome. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about what this is all about, as the shamans refer to it, every person on this earth is living a personal dream. That is your personal reality that you have during this life experience. But we are all also living a collective dream, and that is the collective consciousness that we share and that we create together within our subconscious. So every month I like to do a tarot reading for the collective dream. So that means that if each of us were to be spending a little bit of more time this month in particular on these specific messages that come up for us, then we are going to be able to shift that collective dream, that collective subconscious, into the conscious. We are making it more actively a part of the world that we hope to bring into this existence and this life experience. So while you are here, I like to shuffle the cards with your energy present as well. And as we do this, I will also put a timestamp at the bottom to let you know when the exact reading begins in case you don't want to watch this part or if you don't have time. But I wanted to go through each of the cards as well and let you know what they all represent. So we're going to be reaching out to different spirit energies during this reading. First, we have our 2 tarot clarifiers, but we've also got a few different animal messages that will come in. We've got earth element messages, we have moon messages, we have messages from our ancestors, and then this is going to be sort of an overall tangible thing that we can be doing this month, also coming in from the ancestors or your spirit guides. So I wanted to ask everybody, how has your January been? Have you been paying attention to the messages from the different earth and animal elements that have been coming in for us for the month of January? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know if any of those messages from last month really resonated with you, and if you were able to sort of extract some new ways of thinking for yourself during that last month, because I know that those messages were super powerful for a lot of us. Also, to keep you guys updated, the ones who are new here, you can give me a follow on social media, because after we do this reading every month, I go through each and every message that came through, all the different earth, animal, moon, ancestor messages that came through for us for this month, and I dive deeper into them each month. So for the month of February, after watching this video, make sure you follow me on social media. You can follow on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Actually, I have a new TikTok, and that account has blown up, to be honest. I've gotten, at the time of recording this, I'm just shy of 13,000 followers on TikTok. So I really appreciate each of you reaching out and letting me know that this has been really helpful for you. Because I know that when I started doing this for myself personally, it was super helpful for me. So I felt like this was something I was supposed to start sharing with the collective. All right, so we've got our cards shuffled. Now we're going to go through and pick the cards that we are going to be reading from, all the different messages coming through. Let's go ahead and start on this side. So animal, spirit, energies. Please let us know what specific messages we need to hear for the month of February. February messages for the collective dream. Whoa, we won't be reading all of those. Here we go. All right. Ancestors. Messages for the collective dream. What do we need to hear for the month of February? ancestor message. Earth elements, please give us a specific message that we need to hear for the month of February. February messages from the earth elements. Man, these cards are sticking together this month, aren't they? All right, we'll do one more shuffle and then I'll pick one if we don't get one that flies out. Oh, okay, that one came out. I'm going to keep shuffling through the remainder of this deck. Let's see if we get any other messages coming through for the earth elements. I also wanted to keep you guys updated. I've got a lot of really cool things in the works that I'm doing kind of behind the scenes right now to really bring our soul tribe together even closer during this wild ride we're on called life, right? Is anybody else feeling all the crazy energies right now within the world? I'm sure I'm not the only one. So I've actually been working on a Patreon that I'm going to be putting together, and some of the cool sort of like behind the scenes content that I'll be adding on there, as well as getting direct access to this monthly collective reading before it comes out to the public. Those are just a couple of really cool features that I'll be adding to that Patreon. Moon energy, what messages do we need to hear for the month of February? Please provide us with a message for the month of February. One more shuffle. I feel like already we're getting a message coming in just by the way that these cards are shuffling this month, that there's a bit of hesitancy. There might be a bit of cloudiness within our collective, and I feel like I'm sensing that because of where we are right now, with a lot of kind of unknowns, right? We have a lot of unknowns taking place in our world, and I feel like it's making a lot of people sort of freeze in fear, not know, thank you, not know which direction to go, not know sort of, thank you. All right, so we'll stick with those two. At least those animal messages are coming in strong. All right. Should I take those? Yeah, I'm gonna take these two. They came right out. All right, so here are sort of our spirit messages. And we're gonna go ahead and shuffle to get some clarifiers from our tarot deck. One, woo! All right, 2, 3, and we'll shoot for one more. Oh, 4 or 5. All right, we're gonna do 5 of those. That's all we need there. Thank you. And then some tarot clarifiers from this deck, the Wildwood Tarot. This is my favorite deck, by the way. What messages do we need to receive for the collective consciousness for the month of February? So if you want more information about the Patreon that I'm going to be starting, please be sure to grab a hold of my website, mojaveandwolf.com. You can visit the website and sign up for my newsletter, and once everything goes live, I will be sending out an email. I try not to spam in the newsletter, if you've noticed, those of you who have signed up already. I don't send out a whole bunch of newsletters because I don't like getting spam email myself. I understand that. So I really only try to use the newsletter when it's very important information that I want to get out there. So make sure you sign up for the newsletter on mojaveandwolf.com. And when the Patreon goes live, when all these cool new features come out, which trust me, I've got a ton of really cool stuff coming out with that Patreon. So stay with your ears perked, my loves. We've got a really cool thing coming. All right. This one's feeling a bit of that stagnant energy as well. All right, let's grab a couple cards. Last shuffle. Let's see if any pop out. And if not, I will grab some. Whoop, there we go. One. Is anybody else feeling this sort of stagnant energy right now, where it's like you feel like you almost don't know what to do? You're sort of immobile. All right, we're gonna take this one, and I'm feeling this guy right here. All right. All right. Woo. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have got our tarot and our spirit messages. Now what I'm going to do now is start to lay them out so you can see what they are individually, and then I'll probably stop the camera just to get it all nice and pretty again, and then we'll go right into the reading. And like I said, if you want to just dive right into the reading, I've put a timestamp on the bottom there. But here we go. Here's our messages for the month of February. We have the Pueo, Hawaiian Owl. It says, your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now. So pay close attention to signs and omens from them. Oh, I love this. So I feel like already our ancestors are going to be giving us quite a bit of messages during this reading today. From our ancestors as well, we have the Ancient Forest card. Very beautiful card. Oh, look at that. Look at that, you guys. The dandelion is back with humility. We have more messages from the dandelion this month. That doesn't surprise me. I feel like this message in particular from last month, if you remember from the January reading, it talks a lot about having multiple gifts and talents and trying to figure out exactly where you want to put your attention and your energy. So we'll dive into that more in a minute. The moon energy, we've got full moon in Cancer. A personal issue reaches resolution. Can you see that? Sorry if you can hear my cat meowing. He likes to do that quite a bit. We also have the Oyster animal spirit energies coming to support us for the month of February. That's beautiful. I love that card. And we have the Panther. Awesome. Panther energy. Oh, I'm liking that. I'm really liking that. We've also got study a photograph and change your point of view. Fantastic. All right. Now let's see what our tarot cards say here as well. We've got the Mirror. We're going to kind of put up with my cat meowing for now until I stop the camera to adjust the cards, and then I'll take care of him. But we have the Ten of Bows, which is the Ten of Wands with responsibility. Can you see that? We have the Eight of Vessels, which is the Eight of Cups with rebirth. That feels good. We have the Ten of Swords. The Four of Coins. The Revealer. Judgment card. And lastly, the Champion of Coins. With the raven, by the way. All right, let me put these cards nice and pretty and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so let's hop right into this. This is awesome. Super excited about this. So right off the bat, let's go ahead and call out all the different earth and animal spirit energies that are here to help support us for the month of February. All right, first we have the crow or the raven. We've got the panther. We have the oyster. We have the owl, specifically the Hawaiian owl, but we can also generalize it to the owl if we wish. We've also got the crab. We have the butterfly. Those are the animals. And for the earth elements, we have got the ancient forest, which this one we're going to tap into a little bit deeper when we get to going with the reading, because there's an interesting point with this card. But we also have the dandelion as well. We've got water popping up again this month. I think that's going to be a consistent one for quite a while, to be honest, because water is that divine feminine, and that is the energy that I know is being brought in very strongly in these past few months, just building up to sort of this grand awakening that we're in. Okay. All right, so earth elements, we've got the forest, dandelion once more, water element, and to be honest, I feel like fire is also coming in a little strong here, because we've got the panther is a fire element and the wands are also a fire element. So fire and water, again, fire and water. All right, fantastic. This is pretty exciting, you guys. Okay, all right, let's get into it. So what I'm seeing here for sure is that for a lot of us, a lot of truths right now are being shattered, as we see with the Ten of Swords. A lot of truths, a lot of things are being revealed to us. In fact, we also have the Revealer card here, and that is specifically what it's about is seeking out that wisdom. So wisdom, again, is connected here to the owl as well. The owl is a very strong communicator of wisdom. So I see that we're being supported right now in that pursuit of wisdom, in breaking of these old mindsets, these old things that are being shattered for us right now, things that we might have believed about the world that are no longer relevant, or they're not true, and we didn't realize it until now. It's becoming shattered, so to speak. And I'm seeing that as well with the change your point of view card that's popping out here. So we're seeing for sure a big shift in our energy right now. In fact, I almost want to point it back to this full moon in Cancer, which, if you guys remember, that was actually the moon we had on January 6th. The one that just passed was a full moon in Cancer. And I find it interesting that this card is also saying a personal issue reaches resolution, as well as the direct correlation here with those sort of mentalities or truths that we believed at one point becoming shattered. So we are seeing that something did take place for us during that full moon in Cancer on the 6th, which, if you guys remember, that was a full wolf moon, which explained specifically about reaching out to your community, finding your tribe, your soul tribe. So again, if you're here, you are a part of this soul tribe, you're a part of this soul family. So the messages that I receive here, we resonate on the same sort of energetic frequencies. So you're seeing a lot of the same messages for those who are also a part of this community, as well as myself. And so that full moon in Cancer was about healing those emotional blocks that we have, expanding our thinking and releasing the sort of sabotaging thoughts that we keep or that we had kept. So that's a direct connection here as well to those things that have been shattered in our lives. And also healing sort of that inner child, the repressed emotions that we had of our inner child, and creating space for more compassion for ourselves. So I see a lot of that taking place, or did take place for us in that full moon in Cancer. And if you're feeling that, and if you did feel that this past month of January, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Yep, that's me. I felt that for sure. Again, we see it here directly correlated with the Mirror card. Now, this is the Hanged Man in a traditional deck. The Hanged Man is a card that purposefully puts themselves aside in order to seek higher wisdom, in order to seek what their next step should be. Oh, and I should mention this is too the crane. the crane is popping out as well this month for us. So the crane we're going to add to the list, and I'll make a list, a full list, as I do on my social media. I'll let you know exactly what these earth and animal spirit energies were that are here to support us through the month of February. But we are adding the crane to the list. All right, excuse me. Okay, this is really awesome. Now what I'm seeing here as well is this Judgment card is popping out directly in correlation with the Champion of Coins, which is the King of Pentacles, or sorry, excuse me, the Knight of Pentacles. And he's all about sort of getting his, and it's an earth energy, so it's very slow moving, very stable, but it's about getting your thoughts together, right? Figuring out exactly what direction you want to take. And that is also being confirmed. It's being confirmed here as well with the Four of Coins, because the Four of Coins is also talking about getting your pieces together, realizing what's worth keeping track of, so that you can move forward in a very thoughtful manner, right? You've got a plan, you're putting your plan together, and both of these cards are talking about that. So let's keep that in mind as we move forward with this, the revealing that we're having of these new truths coming in. And the Judgment, making sure you've got the Judgment under your belt to really get these things sorted out in the way that they're meant to be sorted out. We see that once again here with the Owl card, because the Owl is coming out to show us more wisdom, also showing us to connect more to our ancestors, which again does not surprise me. If you do already follow me on social media, you know that's a huge sort of topic that's been coming out recently. I received a spiritual download message from the ancestors as a collective that I released on my TikTok, and that was the video that actually blew up. And at this moment I've got around 67,000 likes on that video, and that was the one that drew a lot of people to my TikTok account. So I believe honestly the ancestors have a lot of messages for us still right now as we speak. Now with this Ancient Forest card, this one specifically is talking about the fact that your roots go deep. This again is another ancestor card. Your roots are going deep. Your roots are deep, my loves. And specifically, this card is asking you to kind of adopt a tree right now. So in your own land where you live, find a tree within your atmosphere. It could be one that you see out of your window often. That would be ideal, because it would remind you every time you see it that you're meant to connect with that tree energy. Now every tree energy has a different frequency, right? Every tree has its own unique energy and its own unique messages that it wants to bring. So again, if you found your tree, go ahead and comment in the comments below. Let me know what tree it is that you have adopted for the month of February, to really gain more knowledge of that tree. And if you let me know what trees you guys have connected with specifically, I can also put out further messages for those specific trees. That's something that I would like to do more as my Patreon grows. I want to be able to do that more with that, as well as to send out individual messages for each person. But all right, here's something really cool I also want to point out. The Oyster card is also all about knowing your hidden talents, your hidden abilities, right under the Dandelion, by the way. So this is definitely a message for us this month of February, that you're beginning to figure out what it is that you've got. Remember in the month of January, it was sort of like, I'm all over the place and I don't know what I can do with my stuff. But I see that we're getting more clarification as the month of February approaches us. You're beginning to learn what your hidden gems are, what your pearls are, so to speak, that you would like to begin shining. Let me show you closer. You see how the oyster has got this light beginning to come out of it? This is a beautiful message to us for the month of February, that you're beginning to figure it out, my loves. You're beginning to figure it out. You're beginning to see where your talents lie and where your specific purpose can be the most fulfilling, not just to you, but to your tribe, to your community. Now that points me over here to the Ten of Bows card, which is the responsibility card. This one also talks about the fact that you have specific talents, abilities, your creativity, all the things that are here to support not just you, but your community. You see how he's carrying all of these bows on his back, and he's doing the tough task of reaching up to his tribe, which is at the top of this mountain here. Can you see that? Is that focused for you? Hold on. I'm so sorry for the background noise. If I had a soundproof room, I would record in there, but you know, life is life. All right, so he's got his tribe up here, right? And he's literally lifting all of these heavy 10 bows to go up to his tribe. That's the energy that's being called forth for the month of February, is really taking ownership of the fact that you have something very specific to bring to your community. You have something very specific to bring to your family. You have something very specific to bring to yourself. Now I see with the 8 of Vessels, this means a rebirth is taking place. So I am fully confident in the message that's coming in today that this is taking place for us in the month of February. As long as you are listening to these messages, you are in direct alignment with everything that's supposed to be taking place for you this month. Just as you float down the river in the water and you don't try to swim upstream, so to speak, but you allow yourself to go with the flow, you are going to be flowing into this new rebirth process for yourself, which is awesome. It's beautiful. It's a really, really good thing, you guys. Like, legit. I'm loving this. Now, I wanted to go back here now to the Oyster and the Panther card, because this is water and fire energy. And if you know anything about the elements, those are the two that actually kind of balance each other out. So I'm seeing a lot of balance coming in the month of February for us as well. We are getting balanced out, whether it be in our emotions, in the things that we are trying to bring into our collective consciousness, because the Panther specifically is about purging any sort of unnecessary element, any unnecessary energies that we don't want in our life anymore. It's about bringing us toward more fulfilling lives. It's uncomfortable sometimes, and it may feel devastating because we might have things in our lives right now that are just getting like uprooted, right? Like connected here to the 10 of Swords with the truths being shattered, so to speak. We're learning a lot of things right now that we maybe didn't realize are, you know, they are a different way than what we've been led to believe they are for a really, really long time. And so we're receiving this sort of like purging energy, which I find very interesting, by the way, because if you notice in the month of January, we had a ton of solar flares come in, and it literally has shifted the earth energy that we walk on. You might be receiving a few different ascension symptoms right now, which could do with your emotional body, with your physical body. And this is this is like a collective thing, right? This is something everyone is feeling on the earth right now, is a purging. We're getting purged of the energies that no longer serve us. I am not surprised at all that these cards are coming out for the month of February, you guys. I'm not surprised at all. At all. This is beautiful. Like, it's literally what we've been seeing. So with the purging next to the Mirror card, we see that she is holding on to a mirror, but she's also, just making sure you can see that, but she's also holding on to the globe or the orb of illumination. That could also be the moon, right? The full moon, which we have, again, the full moon coming out on multiple cards here. So we want to also pay attention then to the next full moon that we have coming up in February. That's going to have a lot of energetic shifts that we can take a hold of in our lives, helping us propel forward into the new energies. And as you know, some of you, the ones who are new, maybe you don't know, but I also dive in deeper to the moon energies for us on my social media. So I do a full moon and a new moon sound meditations or sound medicine every month. So be sure to follow me on social media, because we're going to be tapping deeper into what this specific full moon is going to be for us for the month of February. There's going to be a lot of really good messages coming in for us specifically for my soul family, the ones who listen and resonate with this tarot reading. But all this to say, she's here with the moon of illumination to shine new light onto what she needs to be reflecting back to herself, to see the true reflection, to see what is really needing to be purged, right? Because it's next to the Panther. And also what is needed for your community, being next to the Ten of Bows card. Seeing what is needing to be released within the truths that you believe, being under the Ten of Swords card. But also, if you notice, the crane has a medicine bag right here tied around his neck. So if you're not familiar with medicine bags, these are something that us in the indigenous cultures, and some other cultures as well, but we like to put specific energetic things within a medicine bag, and you wear that, and it helps to shift your energy, your specific energy, as you move forward. So seeing the medicine bag, I would encourage you guys to really think about what items do you want to put in your medicine bag for the month of February. Also, by the way, with the Four of Coins, we also have sort of like this medicine bag sort of idea coming through, where the most important things to you are being kept close. They're being kept in a small bag that you keep close to you for the month of February. So I'm really seeing that coming through here. Now, with the Ten of Swords, I really also want to point out that at the very tip top of this card, you see the butterfly. Now, I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but in case you don't, the butterfly is a beautiful animal excuse me, the butterfly is here for transformation. It's a transformative animal. We know that it goes into a cocoon, but here's the crazy thing about butterflies, you guys, is that as it goes into the cocoon, you might imagine that the cocoon, again, medicine bag, hello, but as it goes into the cocoon, it's not a caterpillar that grows wings. I think it's important for us to understand this. When the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it completely turns to liquid. It completely turns to this primordial mush and then gets reformed completely different into the butterfly. That's a huge point to take home, I think, in this message today, is that with this Ten of Swords saying that things are being shattered, right? Allow yourself the opportunity for those things that are being shattered to be completely reformed, turned into this primordial ooze where you ask yourself, or you tell yourself, honestly, what makes sense anymore? I don't even know what makes sense anymore. Question everything in your life to turn into that butterfly, to allow yourself to become this next version of yourself that has released all of the old, completely released it, and allowed this newness to pop forward. You're being supported through this moon energy to have things revealed to you. Take a sip from both of these vials, right? What is the shadow and what is the light? What is the dark and what is the light? What things are we not understanding about the shadow self? What things are we not understanding about the light? What things and what truths can we bring forth for ourselves in the light and in the shadow? Because they are both here to support us, especially in that moon energy. Now, I also see here we've got the egg represented. Now, the egg, again, is like the cocoon. It's a primordial mixture of ooze to begin with, right? And as it incubates, as it grows, it becomes what it's supposed to be. So I see that connection here with the butterfly and the egg. We're getting the sort of the message here of really allowing yourself to begin again, right? Get that rebirth going for yourself. Begin again. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what do I really truly see about myself, about the world, about things that I could be purging from myself? Now, again, I want to touch on this dandelion energy here because for those of you who are new, you might not know this, but this card popped up for us in the month of January. And a big lesson to take home about the dandelion is this humility aspect. The dandelion is considered a weed, right? At least in North America, it's considered a weed, and people try to kill it all the time. But the craziest part about it is that the dandelion is packed full of nutrients in every aspect of it, from the petals to the stem to the leaves to the roots to the seeds, right? Every aspect of that dandelion, the human can eat, can consume, and it will help us on a physical level. Okay, sorry, I'm getting so excited about this because it just comes together beautifully, right? All right, so lastly, I want to pull out this study a photograph card because I feel like this, I'll make sure it's focused. I feel like this card is asking us specifically to, well, first of all, since it's under these ancestor cards, I feel like some of us are being drawn to literally pull out a card of your ancestors. If you remember, you can pull out a photograph of your ancestors, and you're being guided to just study that photograph on a very practical level. Pull out a photograph of your ancestors if you have one, and study that photograph. Take it in energetically and ask yourself, what do I see? What am I picking up on an energetic level of this photograph? Let's do an example here, just so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. Let's take the mirror card because it's got a person in it, right? Let's say this is a photograph of your ancestor, and let's say she's smiling or whatever, looking at the camera, smiling. Or maybe she's not. Maybe she's turned her head, she's looking off to the distance. Maybe she's got her hand on her heart. Maybe there's other things going on in the photograph. What sort of energetic frequencies are you picking up by studying that photograph? Did she look sad? Did she look happy? Did she look determined? Did she look like she was on a mission? Was there other elements in the picture? Was there a water element in the photograph? Was there a fire element, an earth element like the trees? How was her hair? Was it long? You know, long hair represents wisdom as well. Gray hair also represents wisdom. It's actually believed in a lot of cultures that the longer your hair was, the deeper energetic connection that you could actually pull from the earth around you. Which I believe there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of truth to that. So on a side note, if you're thinking about cutting your hair, don't. Just let it grow. Let it grow for the month of February and see what new wisdom comes in for you. Honestly. Okay, now let's see. With this Ancient Forest card, I believe we're also being called right now to take more walks outside in nature. Nature is going to be a huge healing component for us during this process of changing our point of view and realizing what it is exactly that we have coming out into the world. I believe that is going to become so clear for so many of you this month, if it hasn't already, because this message also is telling me that some of you have figured it out during the month of January, just as we suspected with the January tarot reading that we did. But soon enough, you're going to be blowing your own trumpet here of that specific message to yourself, to your family, and to the world, to your community. Oh man, what a beautiful message. Okay, last thing I want to point out here is the crab. The crab energy is coming out, which is again the sign for Cancer, but there's some deeper meanings with the crab, right? So the crab has this really hard outer shell, but it's also got a very mushy inside, so to speak. So me as a Cancer sun sign, I can kind of attest to this and speak from that perspective, but Cancer signs are typically very soft, right? We're very loving, we're very nurturing, but we also don't want that to get taken advantage of. So we have that hard outer shell for a reason, and that's to protect ourselves. So that's a message, again, just being under the oyster as well, that we're going to need to maybe have a little bit of protection over ourselves this month, for the month of February. Say some protection prayers over yourself. You can also watch my TikTok. I came out with a video about creating an anointing some protection oil that you can use on yourself, on your property, whether it be outside of your door, and just start using your oil, right? Start putting protection around yourself, around your home, around the ones that you love, because there might be some crazy energy still coming in the month of February, not just for you, but collectively, because again, this is a collective reading. So collectively, we might be receiving a lot of new earth-shattering truths, a lot of things that are shifting, and I think that we see that. I think that we honestly see that. I don't think I need to explain that any deeper. But back to the study of photograph card. So not only specifically do I feel like that's a message for the ancestors to study that photograph of your ancestors to receive a deeper knowledge of what messages are coming in for you from the ancestors specifically, right? So pay close attention to the signs and omens that are coming in from your ancestors. By the way, I forgot about this and I need to mention this. The month of January, we had a snowy owl, which is one of the rarest owls, appear on the rooftops in Orange County, California during the storms that were taking place in California. And the snowy owl's specific messages are A, protection, and B, a specific message from your ancestors. So guys, this is lining up beautifully, right? If you see any owls in your waking life, just know that that is an ancestor coming in to send specific messages for you. But lastly, the last message for this study of photograph card, what I'm seeing here is, as well as that ancestor message, I'm also seeing to take this as a more of a, not a literal sense, but more of a spiritual sense. Study a photograph, like I say here on my page, when you're dealing with the earth and animal energies, specifically the animal energies, when an animal comes across your path, you want to take a mental photograph, right? Take a mental snapshot of that moment and study it. Study it, you guys. What was happening in that moment? What animal was it? Because each animal brings a specific message. What was happening around you at that time? What were you thinking about? Where did that animal pop up? Was it an actual animal, or did it pop up on a billboard, on a label of your favorite food at the grocery store? Whatever. Take all of those details into account, because that is you studying that photograph. I think that's a beautiful kind of confirmation here, not just with the animal energies, but also with the earth energies. So again, I know there was a lot to take out of this reading here today, but I hope you brought it all into heart. You might need to go back and listen to this one more time to really get it all. But I want to tap back into this ancient forest idea once more. Remember to find a tree to kind of adopt this month of the month of February, that you can really begin to take those specific tree messages to heart for you during this month. Now, for any of these that you have any questions with, and again, if you want to tell me what your specific tree was, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to follow on social media this month, because I really feel like we've got some really awesome energy coming in this month, and I cannot wait to tap deeper into these messages for each of us for the month of February and through the month of February. The key is coming in for us, you guys. We are definitely receiving the key we need to move forward. We are getting things revealed to us as this all takes place, and I'm so grateful, not just for these energies, but I'm grateful for each and every one of you who come in and watch this as well. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you give us a follow on social media. That is at Mojave and Wolf. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter as well. I don't do Twitter very often, but you can find me there as well. And be sure to check out mojaveandwolf.com and sign up for the newsletter to get some updates of some really awesome things that I have in the works coming up for you guys. All right, I love each and every one of you, and I will talk to you soon.